Morning, everyone. I'm Kieran Rice. I'm actually here from our New York City headquarters, newly established over the last year or so. A little bit about myself, just kind of what I do on a daily basis. I work on both the buyer and seller success teams. Right now, I'm the director of the U.S. Sellers Program. But I've spent the better part of the last year and a half speaking with U.S. buyers as well as potential U.S. suppliers, kind of hearing their stories, successes, their business goals, and challenges that they're running into. So I have a very good idea of how Alibaba can present solutions to a number of those. And at the same time, if we don't have a solution in place now, always giving feedback to our headquarters in Hangzhou. So even feedback on things that we don't offer is super valuable. So would love to meet as many of you as possible here today or tomorrow. Stop by either one of our booths. It'd be a pleasure to chat. So what I'm chatting about today is it's called the Global Gold Supplier Program. My division is specifically focused on U.S. supply, people who are looking for new business customers, either here in the U.S. or globally. Right? So what we'll get into is just a brief overview of Alibaba, kind of the hierarchy of the Alibaba group. Then I'll get a little bit further into Alibaba.com and our ambitions in North America. And then I'll get into like the actual specifics of the program itself, how to list your products, and how to start getting exposure in these new global markets. So one of the big things that I always ask on every conversation that I'm having is, are you familiar with Alibaba? Pretty much everyone always says yes or says, yeah, you're the Amazon of China. So not quite accurate. So I always like to give a brief overview of our group and our platforms in general. So Alibaba Group, super successful in China. We are trading on the New York Stock Exchange. We have a market cap of $400 billion, or just about, making us the 10th largest or 10th most valuable company in the world. We do $800 billion as a group in total annual platform GMV. So you'll hear me reference that figure a lot. GMV is gross merchandise volume. You could think of it as gross revenue as well. For some context, Amazon does about $400 billion in GMV globally, year over year. In China, we also have some business-to-consumer platforms. So I think this is where the "you're the Amazon of China" kind of comes from. We have a platform called Taobao and a platform called Tmall. So these are both, again, business-to-consumer platforms in China that capture about 50% of the Chinese e-commerce market. Together, they serve 400 million active buyers. Tmall is more of a large branded e-commerce platform. So think about Sony, Samsung, Apple. All of them are partners on our Tmall business platform in China, business to consumer. And then Taobao has over 100 million different product offerings. And then we have our business to business channels. So in China, we have a platform called 1688 that is specifically China sellers to China buyers, wholesale trade, right? So it does about 50 billion annually in GMV. And then Alibaba.com, what I'm going to delve into more specifically today, is basically our global facing version of that, right? So we're the leading global B2B trading platform. We do about 10 billion in GMV on an annual basis. And as you can see here, we have significant growth goals. We have been given a goal of 100 billion in GMV here in the very near future, right? So everything we're doing is trying to get success for our customers on the platform so we can hit those targets. And then we're aligned with our suppliers and our buyers, right? Helping them grow their businesses. So a little bit more about our ambitions here at Alibaba.com, specifically in US and North America. Right, so the Gold Supplier Program is designed to initially partner with North American and US suppliers in what we call high potential categories. So what that means is categories where we've identified through our search data that already have existing demand on the platform. Right, people who are already there searching for and purchasing goods from US suppliers. So I can actually share a little bit about that. Our top 3 categories right now in terms of actual platform demand are agriculture, consumer electronics, that's why I'm here, And then health and medical supplies, healthy living, health and wellness. So think supplements, think medical disposables and medical equipment. Right? Those are the three channels or categories that have the most existing on-platform demand today. It's then our job, out of our New York City office, I'll chat about our account management service that we're offering, right? But drive the demand that's on the platform to the suppliers that we have partnered with, right? So inquiries from global buyers will come straight to your profile on Alibaba.com. And just to clarify, when I do speak to on-platform demand, I'm not just referring to people searching for iPhone cases. I'm referring to people who have searched for iPhone cases, filtered specifically for US supply, and then made an inquiry with the supplier of those iPhone cases. So we don't base demand off of search, we base it off of actual business inquiries. For context, for the Consumer Electronics Show, in December, just change of the year there, just last month, 30,000 inquiries to US suppliers of consumer electronics in that category. Right, so that demand is already there. From there, we are the strategic partner to help you layer on supply chain services. Our entire goal here is to have merchandise moving through the inquiries and the matches that are made on the platform. Right, so if there's logistics help we can provide, if there's financing or payment services we can provide, inspection of goods, translation, all of that is part and parcel. That's our job. You negotiate the deal, you do what you're already doing successfully today, let us know how we can help you get it towards a transaction. And then further about our ambitions, we want to become the engine that powers its 8 trillion global B2B e-commerce market, right? So we take this very seriously. Everything we do is geared towards getting transactions for our customers, right? And getting merchandise moving via the platform and via the matches that we're helping make. Just to touch on a little brief history and mission on Alibaba.com specifically, right? So you've probably heard it if you've been to some of the other sessions, but we want to make it to do easy to do business anywhere, right? So we give suppliers the tools that are necessary to connect with a global audience, right? And we make it buyers easy to find that supply, make it efficient, and make it cost effective. Alibaba.com was founded in 1999. So an interesting note here, our founder, Jack Ma, Alibaba.com was actually the very first business of the Alibaba Group. He has a vision that it will last for 3 centuries, and he has a 100-year business plan. So again, we take this very seriously in terms of growing the customers we have, growing their business and aligning with their goals, serving millions of buyers around the world, and I'll get into some more figures on that just now. We are also designed to be a one-stop shop. I think it's super important as I get further into actually selling on Alibaba here in just a minute. Everybody can be a buyer on Alibaba, and everybody can be a supplier. You don't have to limit yourself to both, right? So we call this the idea of like global buy, global sell, right? As you're expanding your your product listing, feel free to also become a sourcing and buying on Alibaba and selling those products as well, right? So everyone can do both. We have buyers in over 150 different countries. In the US specifically, we have over 1 million business buyers. On the platform as a whole, we have 10 million business buyers. And then we do 10 billion in annual order volume, right? So the platform's already working, it's already functioning. What I want to get into now is a service out of our New York office that I think we can help partner with US businesses, which we're already doing, right? And help just make it a little bit more efficient and sort of access to data, access to services that you wouldn't have if you were going at it alone. Challenges that I think the service can solve and that concerns that I hear on a daily basis, right? So quality buyers are difficult to find, especially if you're thinking new export markets that you haven't been into before. Large wholesale orders don't just fall into your lap. It takes work, it takes strategy, and takes a lot of time. So this is something that I'll get into that I think we can help you find the quality buyers. There's already over 1 million that are searching today for US supply. Trade shows, the traditional methods of acquiring customers are expensive and they're time consuming. right? I've been here since Sunday. So other people I've heard have been here since Wednesday getting set up. So everyone's taking time out of their schedule to be here. Time is money. Alibaba.com and the U.S. Seller Program, it's managed from your office, your home, your mobile phone, right? You can do business anywhere, right? Save time, save money. And we have, again, the buyers are on the platform, and we're only starting to drive more demand here throughout the rest of this year. For new export, or if you've exported before but you're targeting a new market, it's very complicated, right? So shipping to Saudi Arabia is different from shipping to Malaysia. The labeling of your products in different regions, in different countries, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all. Partnering with us at Alibaba, where we have the expert knowledge and we have the data, that's what we want to share with you as part of this service, the insider knowledge, so you can kind of have the peace of mind, right, that things are being done properly and you can execute on your strategy. Right, and then lastly, deciding on which market is right for you. Right, it can be time consuming, it can be super expensive to do the research and development on the strategy of where's the right place to target maybe an untapped market for my product. Right, so we have the data. We've got buyers again in 150 million countries. We have search history, we have transaction history. We will partner with you, right, and come up with the optimal strategy to match with your business goals. And that's kind of step one in the platform here. So if you sign up to become a global gold supplier and you partner with us in our New York office, you are assigned a one-on-one account manager, right? So the first thing we'll do is do what we call a business review. We'll connect for a phone call, or we can sit down in person if you're nearby New York, and we'll essentially learn about your business goals and your challenges, talk about what markets you want to get into, right? And just sort of make sure that we're on the same page in terms of what are the buyers you're looking for, right? And maybe your 2-3 year plan in terms of growing into new markets, right? We'll also verify your business. If any of you, maybe show of hands, have any of you actually sourced on Alibaba.com, like gone and looked for a manufacturer? Great. So you've probably experienced the trust factor, right? How do I know this is a legitimate buyer? What are the good indicators? We want to do that for our sellers too. The trust has to go both ways, right? So we do have a verification and certification process we'll go through to make sure that when we upload your profile, that buyers who are seeing you can feel that trust without have ever met you, right? Make it easy to do business anywhere. So those are the first few steps we take. And then from there, we get to work actually launching your profile. Right, so this is a branded e-commerce storefront hosted on Alibaba.com. The nice thing about our service is that, I mean, building web pages is expensive, it's time consuming. We take that off your plate. Part of the service is we will build the website for you, right? And we'll list your products, we'll list your pictures, the minimum order quantities and the pricing, as well as do the write-up and the certification about your business as well. I believe I was actually a familiar face in the audience. Is it Dr. Nawa? We spoke earlier. She mentioned that they were a nonprofit business, right? And how that's very important to her. So we would make sure to put that in her business write-up, right? So that businesses who are seeing her that resonate with that kind of feel that and feel her story and feel like they can trust her and know her. Right, so all of this is part and parcel of the service, and then we start to optimize for demand. For every product we list, you can list up to 3 keywords for keyword advertising or phrases, right? So that just comes with the package. We have the data on what people are searching for in the US in your category. So we will make the recommendations to you on how you can either differentiate or maybe spend more in keyword advertising on some of the keywords to boost you up the page. The entire idea behind the program is get you to the top of the page, get the existing platform demand, get those eyeballs on you, and let you gain some of the pie of some of the customers that are already looking for products like yours, right? So again, we want eyeballs on you because we want transactions. We're aligned together. Right, and then it's all about engaging with the buyers. This is just the screenshot of like in the home page of the My Alibaba account if you're a seller. Actually, there's just a buy, sell tab if you see at the top left there under the Alibaba.com logo. If you click buy, it turns blue. Again, everyone can be both, so just want to make sure I mention that, right? But you can see your pending orders, your unread messages, etc. back here. This is where you manage your business from anywhere, right? You don't have to be at the trade show. You don't have to be at the office. You can respond to inquiries as they come in a timely fashion, and we will give you the guidance on, hey, which ones are priority for you, which ones maybe need to be vetted out a little bit more, and then which ones need to be rejected. You don't have to take every single inquiry. We only want you fielding the ones that are valuable for your business, that are actually going to move you closer to your business goals, right? There's also an entire back office sort of analytics dashboard back here, so you can see which of your products are being searched for the most and then clicked on. How does that compare to other top suppliers in your category, and what can we do to make you more competitive with them and take some of that market share? So again, this insider sort of partnership that we're offering gives you access to all this data on an ongoing basis. It's not a one-time consultation, figure it out from there. It's ongoing and optimizing for seasonality and market trends as well. These are just going to be some existing buyer profiles, right? So I think the nice thing about this page is gives you some of the scope of where the buyers are coming from. We have United Kingdom, we have a U.S. buyer of apparel and accessories, and then Taiwan, auto parts and accessories. So different industries. We have buyers in every product category, right? And I think the key takeaways from these quotes would be that, number one, it's easy to communicate. The online translation services that Alibaba already has, translating into their local language so that they can understand your inquiry and you can understand theirs, right, if they're coming from somewhere else in the globe where they don't speak English. Number two, sourcing multiple products, right? So buyers are always expanding their product offering. Because they're doing that, they're looking for new supply. So that's super relevant to our sellers, right? Just because they're not buying your product now or it's not in their category now, they're always expanding their product offering. And then lastly, and possibly most importantly, the idea that global trade has a high barrier to entry, not so much when you're partnering with someone like Alibaba.com that has the insider knowledge and expertise and has been doing so successfully since 1999. And this is just kind of designed to sort of bring everything together. Right, so I mentioned global buy, global sell. Everyone can be both. This is just the reverse. Global sell first, then global buy will be next. But we aggregate the demand, right? We know it's there. We're spending billions of dollars on Facebook and Google ads, driving people towards our platform. We are going to start doing so in a much more aggressive way towards U.S. supply, right? So access to market data and analytics tools, the sort of the insider partnership I keep referring to. You get the keyword advertising, so the marketing opportunities to boost sales, but we also send out emails to buyers based off of their search and transaction history, right? We're always putting new things in front of them on a weekly basis. We also have an offering that's called Product Showcase, right, where you can volunteer your products to be put up on the main page and sort of as they scroll along, get more visibility, right? So all things you can do to optimize for more demand. And then the logistics, the payment infrastructure, the supply chain services, that's how we can help move you closer to transactions, from inquiry to transaction, right? There's obviously more services here. Managing inventory is not necessarily something we touched on yet, but obviously as you get the inquiries, you're able to see, are we able to actually complete this order? It's going to be super valuable to us. What do we need to do? What do we need to put on the back burner to go ahead and prioritize this order? Right, kind of get those insights from your account manager, right, and work on the strategy together. Right, and then for global buyers, these are all services that we're offering right now to our U.S. and our global buyers. So I mentioned in the New York office currently, we have the buyer and the seller success team. Right, so we're loaning working capital. We've loaned millions of dollars this year to U.S. small businesses through our program Pay Later, which we'd love to talk to you about if you want to stop by later. We're always giving them the new product recommendations to their inbox and their profile based off their search and transaction history. We have the translation services as well, right? So we are here to manage both sides of the equation, right, and reach your goals whether you're a supplier or a buyer, and again, build that trust both ways. And then lastly, I would just leave you with some current Gold Supplier members in North America and kind of their reasons that they find the program valuable, right? So again, Canada, US, I think the big thing here is food and beverage, health and medical, and consumer electronics, right? Wide spread of categories here with people getting sales, taking advantage of the demand that's on the platform, right? So I think the biggest takeaway here is let's get some transactions going. I've said it again, but everything we do is geared towards moving it from demand, inquiry, and sales. The $100 billion in GMV, it's not going to fall into our laps, right? We're going to have to work at it together and partner together. But to hit that goal, just signing up people for memberships and leaving it on the site is not going to get us there, right? So we want to partner together, and everything we do is geared towards getting you sales and aligning our goals in that way, right? So if you'd like to chat further about this program or any of our services, we have a sourcing booth over here at the end of the hallway. We have some team members in the central hall as well, right? And even if you're not interested in buying or selling, you're new to Alibaba, you just want to chat with us, we'd love to meet you, hear your story, get your contact info, and stay in touch. Thank you so much for your time today.